All right, guys, welcome back. We are watching Frieren, Season 1, Episode 5. Last time, we received our mission. We gotta go to heaven. Gotta go to Oriole, the land where souls rest, and talk to Himmel. So we got another 10-year journey to go on, apparently, which I guess with the pace that the the show has been going so far with the timeline, surely we'll be done with that journey by, I don't know, 5 episodes from now. So, I don't know. I don't think that's actually gonna happen, but it is a mere 10 years by this show's standards, right? So I don't know. I guess we're going on our journey. Got to retrace the steps that Frieren and Himmel and their whole party took. So some good opportunities for Frieren to learn some things, I suppose. So we're watching episode 5. Oh god. Okay, there we go. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to, and we are starting in 3, 2, 1. Oriole. I should have looked up what that name means. So heaven's real. Heaven is real. According to Flom, at least. Hmm. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, man, what's it called? The third area in, like, Hades. You ever played Hades? It's that place, right? What's it called? It's in, like, Greek mythology. Oh, yeah. Wonder what's going on up there at the Demon King's castle these days. It's been 80 years since he was killed, right? Hmm. A mere 10-year adventure, huh? One 100th of her life. It'll be nice and easy, right? Yeah, exactly. It'll be nice and easy because she is uncomfortable with, yeah, yeah, the reality of what a relationship is, I suppose. It really is. She has to challenge herself and step out of her comfort zone? And I guess I hope Himmel and all of them, when she said that, understood that it's just, understood that that isn't as hurtful as it seems because of like her position on things? Yeah, no kidding. Oh, I mean, a single day can change a person, right? Because I mean, think about it. One 100th of a normal person's life is like about a year, right? That's a significant amount of time. So her writing it off saying it's just one 100th. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, that percentage is gonna keep going up. Hmm. And the amount of time she spent with Fern. We have lyrics. Let me read them. Hmm. God, that I like that shot of the statue so much. It looks good. Days of peace and quiet. God, this shot is so sad. Her looking at them through the window. When are we gonna meet this red hair guy, though? That arm looks like it must be Flom's arm, right? With like the thing on her arm. Okay, wow, yeah, these lyrics sure are pretty on point, huh? Wonder who that is. No sign of them yet. The journey continues. All right. Phantoms of the Dead. Sure. Ooh. Or else. Don't say that. Oh no. Oh God. You put the wrong idea in our head now. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. Oh. Taking turns sleeping on each other, you know? It's great. I wonder how much Fern remembers of her family before she stayed with Hyter. I don't know, I guess I'm just curious. The Will region. Bit of a smaller place than our previous areas, it seems. Ooh. Oh, trouble at the mountain pass. People going missing, huh? Oh, taken by ghosts. I see. Spirits of the dead. Hmm. Okay, sure. But I mean, oh, they're making people go missing though. That's scary. Hmm. Okay. Ooh. And both of our characters have reason to be interested in a ghost like that, right? Frieren it would be Hyter, Frieren it would be Himmel. Is it like a hmm? Yeah, and these are like ghosts, right? So is it just some kind of magic itself, you know? It's not like a physical thing, right? Hmm. Okay, still some kind of monster. What if she ran into it before, right? If we're retracing the same steps to get to the Demon King's castle, right? Maybe you should sound more like Himmel. Yeah. Come on. Okay, sure. Ooh, looks very nice. It's funny, we've had two shots of Fern walking across a log laid across a river like that. Ooh. Man, it's creepy. It's creepy thinking they could show up right now in broad daylight, you know? What are signs of magic? What? Ooh, okay. Illusion magic, sure. Hmm. Yeah, sounds like it would be effective, huh? Yeah, because it would only be humans that would work on, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure it must. Yeah. I mean, if Hyter appeared in front of you, Fern, I wonder how Frieren would be affected if Himmel showed up. I don't know. She's based off what she said last time. Aizen about not wanting to see him now. Okay. Oh no. Oh god. I don't want to shoot them. Yeah. Could you? What if it's Hyter or your family that died? Oh. Oh man. Yeah. I was thinking, like, I wonder who would appear for Frieren before she knew Himmel, but interesting. She's still affected by it, of course. Okay, now this is yeah, this is a better setting for them to appear, I suppose. Of course, they can't just appear in broad daylight, right? Oh, that's so cool. Oh no, he's here. He's arrived. Just shoot it before it says anything, right? You just shoot it. It might like how does it work? It must like look into your mind or something, right? To know what to make them say. Yeah, it must. That's just terrifying. And it just makes it feel so real, right? Yeah. Hmm. Very. Shoot it. Come on. She can do it. What's up, Himmel? What is he gonna say to Frieren, huh? Or is she just gonna shoot him immediately? Ooh, didn't even think it would be him, huh? I think it does, honestly. Ooh, wow. Okay. Oh, sure, sure. If it has to act like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Right, okay, wow, that's brutal. Oh, man. Yeah. God, that looks terrifying. Bye, Heiter. Huh. Frieren shoot me. 'Cause that is what he would say, right? That's the only way I guess the monster had to make it say that, because that's what Frieren thinks he would say in this situation, right? If he's looking into her head. Nisei Mono. Ooh, sure. That is interesting, right? The idea that these things exist and felt so, like, real in that sense. Or the souls in Oriole real, right? I don't know. I don't know. It would be impossible to know, right? That's kind of that's the interesting thing. I'm not saying that they would be created by a monster like this, but oh, hi, it's a dragon. Of course. Ooh. Oh god, not another one. Not another one. Oh no. She does love her grimoires. Okay. A solar dragon. That sounds very cool. Is it like sunbathing to gather energy or something? Can we do it? Can we just one-shot it? Is this gonna work? Maybe. Oh, oh no. Oh god. Is it Oh no. Oh god. Oh, okay. Let's run. Oh god. Run! Go! Why? Okay. Why did we pick a fight with this thing exactly? That was Oh my god. Fern has been scarred for life. Frieren is just completely unfazed. No. We aren't gonna do that. Yeah. What do you mean? Of course. Who would? Does anyone play tag with dragons around here? Ooh, to take on a companion, huh? Okay, who can defeat a dragon? Okay. Ooh, is this our guy from the opening? Red hair guy? How do you know him though? Okay. Is he? Interesting. No answer. Not yet, at least. Hmm. Something in the way of him being a good warrior, perhaps? Yeah, seems like that dragon isn't causing that much of a problem. Okay, what is with you? And the yeah. What do you need that one for, Frieren? You wanted the potion that melts clothes. You need a spell that lets you see through clothes. Okay, like, I guess. Depending on what you consider clothes, is that how it works? Ooh, Stark Sama, huh? This another old lady who knows Himmel. Ooh, okay. Man, why? Why does it even attack villages there? Just to find stuff? There he is. There he is. And he saved the day? Wow. Okay. He's quite the warrior then, huh? It sounds like he's the guy we need. Sure. It sounds too good to be true, huh? It sounds like, looks like Frieren might be thinking the same thing. I don't know. Sure. But yeah, if he's been, why hasn't he killed the dragon? Right? I don't know. I don't know. Ooh. Okay. I think I like him based off our first interactions here. Ooh, that scar. Hmm. No, I think they know. I think they're well aware. Finding a shadow dragon. Oh, okay. How would you know? Like, I guess. Oh, yeah. Hmm. She seems unimpressed, huh? Hmm. Did him and Eisen have some kind of falling out, right? Because he is separated from Eisen, right? Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Does he have some reason? Okay, I don't believe you. But, hmm. I guess if he's been injured fighting a dragon before, assuming that's even true, that's how he got the scar or not. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Probably not. I don't know. I guess to go fight a dragon? I don't know. Oh, touching a scar there, huh? Well, not exactly. He recommended you, I suppose. Okay, sure. Makes sense. Can she? I don't know. For 30 seconds. Oh, that's a rough one, probably. 30 seconds? How do you keep it busy? Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Right. Okay. Right. And because he just stood there and stared at it, it like, I don't know. it thought he was staring it down. He was scared. The dragon got scared or something. I don't know. Oh, what a terrible situation to be in. Oh man, what do you do now? Oh God, it's all over. I guess if you say so. No, he can do it. He can do it. He can do it. You know what? Sure, we need someone like this. We need someone who is like honest with their emotions like this in this party, don't we? Both of them, they can't do it, you know? Sure, sure. Like actually, like Fern's immediate dismissal of him is interesting, I think. Hmm. What is the giant crack in that? I don't know. Does it have some kind of particular meaning to her? Hmm. What is what he keeps touching the scar? The Shadow Dragon thing must not be true, right? Because Frieren seemed to kind of doubt it. Sure. Yeah, he's not a bad person. He's not really like tricking anyone. Ah, what's wrong with that? That's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Okay, sure. You didn't do very good against the dragon either, Fern. So, come on. Yeah. What happened to that? It might genuinely be scared of Stark, honestly, right? Ooh, is it coming right now? Oh, okay. Sure. Sounds good. I'm trying to think, like, what does that sound? I'm trying to think. Hmm. Fern's dismissal of Stark, like, what does that mean? Why does she have that attitude towards him immediately? Um, hmm. Is he? Ooh, a coward. Well, I mean, how old was he? I don't know. Was he already a warrior by then? Oh, he's like me. Interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. That's him making the giant crack in the mountain. Is this safe? Oh my God. Okay. Don't cause a landslide, Stark, please. Oh my God. Right. Of course. How could he possibly hear you? Hmm. Oh, that's the end of the episode? Okay, wow. Right. That went by fast, huh? That was a good episode. I don't know. I gotta think. I gotta think about this like Fern, and Stark thing, you know? Her immediate dismissal of him is interesting. I can't think of a reason why she would have that kind of attitude towards him, you know? Um, and like I can't think of like what that means for like her as a character, you know? I can't decide. Like, why would she have a particularly strong dislike of cowardice? Is it because of like she's been surrounded by people like Frieren and Heiter who have like uh stepped up in her life essentially and saved her from being an orphan with no home, you know? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, she's lived with Frieren for a long time, who um certainly isn't a coward by any means. Like literally, and she's doing her best to like change as a person emotionally too, you know? Whereas it seems like Stark is kinda well, I don't know. He doesn't believe in himself, that's for sure. And maybe that's the important thing. Maybe that's what Fern doesn't like. Okay. No spoilers. We will talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. So, we have finally met Stark, which is pretty cool, our red-haired guy. Seen him in the opening every time. So, man, finally. Took us a whole 5 episodes, thank God. I think I like him, though. I think I like him. He has an interesting I think it will be an interesting dynamic between him and our other characters. I'm assuming, of course, obviously, he's going to be going on our journey with them, right? Like, obviously, he's in the opening. He's, like, yeah, he's got to be. We're going to defeat the dragon. He's going to do it. He's going to learn to believe in himself. It's going to be awesome. But we'll talk about Stark when we get there. I guess we just start the episode with kind of a recap almost. But I do want to talk about something in here again, because I feel like I didn't talk about it last time, really. But just Frieren thinking about this whole 1/100th thing, right? Aizen saying 1/100th, huh? And we go back to this scene when Frieren is talking about this. For one, like her saying it's nice and easy to travel alone. Of course, right? That makes so much sense for Frieren saying it's nice and easy to be alone. Because I just think anyone can apply that to like themselves, right? That it is true that it is nice and easy to never step outside of your comfort zone and challenge yourself with like a relationship or like anything, you know? And what does that lead you to? That leads you to being like Frieren and spending 50 years alone while life passes you by, you know? Like, it just makes me think of episode 1 when we had that long, like, time-lapse montage of Frieren being alone for 50 years. And it showed like the shot of the mountains in the distance with the seasons passing by like ultra fast, you know? It's just, yeah, it's just time just slipped her by so quickly. She missed out on so many things she cared about because she prioritized taking it nice and easy rather than challenging herself in any way, you know? It's a waste of time. Even if I taught them, they'd die in no time. And yeah, I mean, it's just her fear of relationships ending eventually, right? And it's like, and I want to make sure it's understood that, of course, I'm bringing that up. It's not like that's a weird problem to have, right? I'm just saying that's like her core thing that she's trying to overcome. I think everyone on Earth has that as a problem, right? You know what I mean? Like no one if you start dating someone or something, no one's thinking, "Oh wow, I can't." I'm really thinking all the time about how we're gonna break up, and that's gonna suck. You know, like no people either they don't think about it or they don't want to think about it, or if there's someone like Frieren, right? I mean, no one like Frieren exists, but someone like Frieren is forced to grapple with that as an idea much more often because of her long lifespan. She always sees the ends of these relationships that people otherwise wouldn't, you know? Um, like Heiter, for example, if he had a Heiter, I mean, I guess we don't know how close his relationship to Himmel was after the separation of the group, but let's say they were still pretty close. They wrote to each other and stuff, you know? Heiter had a lifelong friend in Himmel by that point, you know? Sure, Himmel died before Heiter did, quite a few decades before Heiter did. Um, but it's not like through Heiter's entire life while they were, or like during their 10-year journey or whatever, he was thinking about, oh, I'm dreading the day Himmel dies, because that's just not something that's going to enter his head, because he knows, they have the same lifespan. Either of them could die before the other, unless something crazy happened. It's not like they're going to stop being friends. Well, Frieren always has to grapple with that because she knows she will outlive these people. So I mean, in that case, like it sucks, right? Like, yeah, it's kind of the best I've ever seen the trope with immortality done, where the downside to immortality is always said to be the fact that you will outlive everyone you care about, right? Like in Monogatari, they brought that up, right, with Shinobu talking to Araki about that. And I've always just thought it's kind of a trope that never really is expanded upon other than just people being like, oh yeah, that would really suck. I would see my whole family die, right? But I'm enjoying this, how we are actually seeing like a realistic, like through Frieren, depiction of what I think it would be like for someone. The way that it's not like she's constantly miserable because of the people around her dying. She has just like withdrawn into her shell. Relationships mean less to her because of that, essentially. Or she tells herself that they mean less to her. It's clear that they actually don't. But that's how she wants it to be, essentially, because of the pain she's had to endure through that, And I just hope when she says this line, I said this last time too, I just hope that her friends here that she went on the journey with understand that this is Frieren. I she just doesn't. This is like hope. We're saying this, right? That it doesn't mean anything to her because it was 1/100th of her life. I hope they didn't take that too seriously. It would be so sad because that's actually such a hurtful thing to say to them. Like that it's less than 1/100th of her life. Man, like just imagine anyone saying that to you in real life. Like I just what a crazy thing to say. Like you've known someone for a year and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop being friends with you. It's been less than 1/100th of my life, so I don't really care. Don't really care about you too much." Like, man, what an awful thing to say. Of course, it also goes alongside like her general disregard for other people's lives and the time they spend. She's been getting better at that, obviously. That 1/100th changed you, absolutely, absolutely. And I guess if the first four episodes were aired together, it kind of makes sense why we're getting like kind of some recap stuff here and all that. I get it. I get it. She leaves saying "see you again." I wonder if we will see Eisen again. I don't know. I imagine him looking at them like this. He thinks it's the last time he's ever seeing her. But who knows? I guess. Guess we don't know how long Eisen will live, right? It's gonna be even more from now on, huh? I don't know. Obviously, like framing how meaningful a relationship is by talking about how much percentage of your life you spent with a person, like what? It just doesn't. I don't know. But I guess Fern's pointing that out to Frieren kind of by saying that. So we still have some characters in the opening we don't know, don't we? These guys. We know Stark now. There's Flom, and then this elf girl at the end, I guess. Hmm. Phantoms of the Dead. Man, Fern is crafty, huh? Does that mean if I'm a bad girl, you come see me after you die? Huh. Fern. It's interesting because Fern has had a lot of loss in her life too, just like Frieren, having lost her family when she was young. And Heiter, right? I don't know, huh? It is interesting. I love this, how they like took turns sleeping on each other in the past two episodes. It shows, I don't know, they really are like I love their relationship so much, how they are both teaching each other things and they're both, I don't know, they're each other's moms, I guess. Like and Stark, I feel like Stark is gonna be good in the dynamic here. I really think so. I think his man, I don't know. It's gonna depend like how quickly he's gonna get over his like cowardice and like not believing in himself stuff, right? Because that's what it seems like to me his issue is. When I feel like Furren and Frieren don't really have that problem at all. I don't know. I don't know. I am curious to see like what the dynamic between them will be and like how they're gonna bounce off each other. I feel like this it's just what we need. How like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. In the will region. Sounds good. Oh, I gotta look up what Ariel means real quick. I keep forgetting to do that. Good old Google Translate. Let's see. Ariel. German. Oh, am I spelling it wrong, or is it just not? Uh, Frieren. Am I spelling it right? I am spelling it right, but I guess on Google Translate it doesn't say anything. But apparently there's an English word, a circle of light or brightness surrounding something, especially as depicted in art around the head or body of a person represented as holy. I guess that makes sense, right? I guess it's not a German word though. Maybe the origin of the word is German. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, we are in a new town that has a bit of a dragon problem. Oh no, this isn't the dragon problem town. My bad. This is the ghost problem town, of course. Naturally, naturally. The undead. Hmm. We go around, talk to everyone about it. So it's ghosts of dead family and acquaintances as they appeared in life. So this monster is like terrifying, right? It looks into your mind to like figure out, I guess, what it should make appear in front of you. and what the thing should say and all of that, Which is just immediately like that's horrifying that magic can do that. Like, can people learn how to do that? Like, that would be horrifying if people would just look into your head? I don't know. Man, it's a nasty one. We'd best be careful to avoid it. It's interesting that Frieren would say that it would be better to avoid it, because she herself has no issue with it, right? Or I guess she puts on the idea that she has no issue with it. Is she actually much more bothered by it than she acts? I don't know. She certainly doesn't hesitate to shoot. Or it's possible that she just thinks Fern wouldn't be up to it, right? Wouldn't be able to do it. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Man, it must be weird to have Fern's life. Like, how many times have they walked into a new inn like this, and just lied down on a new bed and just, I don't know, just traveling your whole life like this? It must, I mean, really, this is kind of a utopia of a fantasy world, isn't it? Like, the fact that it's just this free that you can just roam around like this, and I don't know, I don't know. I guess both of them are very skilled, like mages, so I guess they can always make money by doing crazy shit that you assume normal people don't have the ability to do, right? But still, I don't know. I'm jealous. I wish I could go on a journey like this. Hmm. Signs of magic, illusion magic. And yeah, and I guess this monster only preys on humans, right? I mean, it has to, because that's the only thing this illusion thing would work on, right? Which is horrifying that it can eat enough people to survive. Hmm. I don't know. I shot a phantom of my master begging for her life. But I was used to hearing her beg for her life. Like, what does that mean? I don't know. Is this just a joke from Frieren or I don't know. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Dead man, and we enter the fog zone, of course. We can't be in broad daylight when the phantoms show up, obviously. And there he is. There's Heiter, the Phantom of the Dead. I don't know, and she is quite affected by it in a sense. Like, she is really, she knows what's going on. She knows it's her memories, and she knows that it's just him, that it's not him. I mean, that it's just the monster. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting that she's so affected by it despite knowing what it is, right? Of course, it shows that. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting how Fern and Frieren are both similar in the sense of like they are very open with their emotions at times. They both seem like kind of calm, collected people in general. And since Fern internally, we can tell that she's pretty affected by this, right? Seeing him, I just feel like that must mean that Frieren too is more affected by it than she lets on, right? She seems so unfazed by seeing him, saying that it's Himmel this time. But and that makes sense because um everything about Himmel, she always like we know she cares much more about Himmel ever since the funeral scene than it seems like she puts on so often. It would be so hard for me to believe that she's truly completely unfazed by seeing him. Does this mean I've changed? And it's really interesting, like Frieren's attitude towards like changing as a person in general, because I feel like that's something we don't see very often. Um, is like main characters, or I guess characters in general, who understand that they need to change and are like happy about the idea of changing. Normally people like resist change, right? Like because that's normally the problem, right? Is people don't understand that the way they're acting is wrong and they need to change, right? So I don't know. It's interesting Fruin's attitude about it. I don't know. I'm trying to decide. You would think that would be like conducive to like a better process of changing, right? But I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting to think about, I suppose. Because for most people, the issue with like changing as a person is like, I guess, recognizing what even needs to change in the first place. Um, has Frieren realized what she needs to change? Maybe she knows she wants to know people better than she did before. She wants the human connection more. Um, hmm. I don't know. I don't know. But I guess you could view it another way too, right? Saying that her being happy about the idea of having changed might not be a good thing because perhaps she thinks that that means she's already, made all the change she needs to make. Not I'm saying like that's what it has to be or that I'm even thinking that's like likely, right? But it is interesting, you know, the idea that perhaps she does know she needs to change, but it's possible she still doesn't know exactly what change needs to happen, you know. She just knows that her relationship with Himmel didn't end the way she wanted it to, and she wants to prevent that in the future, right? And that just might be all she knows, and she knows that she needs to change for that, you know. Hmm. That is what Himmel would say. And I guess that is, you know, like, I guess if the monster is looking into your mind and trying to make a convincing illusion, in order for that illusion to be convincing for Frieren, it has to make Himmel say, shoot me. That's what Himmel would say in the situation. So, of course. And God, it looks terrifying. This thing looks way creepier than Qual. Goddamn, look at it. Hmm. It's interesting that she has to, like, convince herself of this, too. You know, it really does affect her so deeply, right? An imposter. Let's go see the real Heiter. And the interesting thing about this is, like, you know, what we're talking about, of course, is Ariel, the land where souls rest, right? But I don't know, are the souls real either? I don't know if that's even something that we should go down or like think about, right? Um, but like the appearance of these makes it clear that of course a convincing replica of someone's soul can be created through magic. So I don't know. I guess it you know, if the souls will be used as a vehicle for like closure, I suppose, in their relationship with like Himmel, then I guess it only matters to her herself if she thinks it's real or not, right? Like that Himmel, she decided wasn't real because she knows it's just created through illusion magic. But if the Himmel at Aureole is real to her, then that's all that really matters, right? Assuming we're actually going to get to Aureole and there is going to be a Himmel there. Who knows, right? Hmm. And we see the solar dragon, which is pretty cool. I imagine it's like sunbathing, you know, absorbing some solar energy. Who knows? We need the grimoire so we can learn a spell that lets you see through clothes, which, like, Frieren, why that spell gotta be illegal, right? Like, why do you need that, huh? And man, she really like why did she even what like why did she let Fern do this? Why did she let Fern shoot it when she knew this wasn't going to work? Like, just okay, I don't know. I don't know why she would do this. Why didn't Fern just fly away? She'd be fine. God, I love this shot. She's so terrified. God, it's just, man. If we repeat that process enough times, we'll beat it eventually. Frieren, that is just not a good approach. I feel like that has to be Frieren's approach. I like that actually. That has to be Frieren's approach to like so many things in life, you know, because of her like long lifespan, you know. That if you just keep trying over and over again, eventually you'll just get through it, just brute force it, you know. It's kind of like shows like the reason why she hasn't changed as a person like emotionally in the past 1,000 years. If this is her attitude towards like everything for the most part, you know, is to just brute force it, brute force your relationships and your emotions and everything, you know. And it's interesting how the solution to our dragon problem isn't just brute forcing it the way Frieren wants to, but another person's help, right? Hmm. Our answer is Stark, Eisen's apprentice. Of course, of course. And so Stark's. So here's what I think about this whole Stark stuff, right? Is I think Stark is very unconfident in himself, obviously. He seems to actually be very powerful with the whole creating the giant, crazy crevice in the cliff face thing going on with his training. So I wonder if genuinely the dragon actually is like scared of him, and that's why the dragon's not coming back, right? Like maybe, honestly, probably, right? And I think Stark just seriously underestimates his own power and doesn't, you know, just doesn't believe in himself, you know, which is interesting. Hmm. What does that make you think of? The idea of not believing in your own power, right? It makes me think of Frieren and her underestimating how meaningful her relationship with everyone was after their 10-year journey, right? Um, I don't know. Is that a legitimate connection of some kind? I don't really know where to go with it other than saying those two things on a surface level feel like you can connect them. So I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll see. We got to get more Stark before I can really start going into what I think the dynamic is going to be like, I guess. Yet another old lady. How many old people are we going to have who are all stumped over and shrank 3 feet? Like, look at her. Hmm. And it's been a while. It's been 3 years since Stark and Eisen. I mean, at least 3 years since they separated, you know? Huh. After a long standoff, the dragon left. And I imagine the dragon was actually scared of him. I bet it could tell that he's really strong, and he just stood there, just staring it down, you know? Like, man, I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Warrior's job is hardly a noble one. It's interesting that he says that. I wonder if that in some way relates to his scar, right? He keeps touching his scar and, like, thinking. So the scar means something. What do we think the scar means? It could be a him having failed. It could be from his village, right? Eisen said that he's the one person who ran away from his village and everyone died, right? He could have gotten the scar when that happened at his village, and the scar could be to him like a symbol of his cowardice, right? Um, and like him saying here, a warrior's job is hardly a noble one, could relate to that in the same way, right? It could be him not having a very noble view of what a warrior is, perhaps because of himself having failed to protect people he cares about and being so much of a coward, right? I don't know. Maybe, right? Hmm. He puts on such a strong face at first. You know, he stares down Frieren. I wouldn't be able to do that. He says he got this from a shadow dragon. That's not true. There's no way that's true. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe if the monster that attacked his village was a shadow dragon, and that was like true. But then it still is like more meaningful because it's not just from a shadow dragon, it's from what happened at his village, right? Not that serious an injury. So I don't know. That to me seems like Fruin saying she doesn't believe him, right? Frieren the mage. Hmm. So he immediately thinks they were sent by Eisen to, I don't know, because he's mad, I guess. Which is interesting. I wonder what happened between him and Eisen exactly. Hmm. Because it's interesting. Eisen sees himself in Stark, right? He literally said he's just like me, right? I guess Eisen feels the same. Feels like he failed to protect people he cared about, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Not something you fight for no particular reason. And she gives her reason, right? This awesome rock golem shit. That, yeah, people who compliment her for the spells she collects, you know? Of course. And he touches his scar. He touches his scar. Like what? I don't know. I don't know. What do I think that means? The scar clearly means a lot to him, right? But I don't know. Complimented you. And he says that he touches it while he says complimented you, huh? Hmm. I would some compliments help his self-esteem, right? Because that's you assume his cowardice and him not believing in himself is probably, comes from a place of low self-esteem, right? It's kind of the same thing, right? So, is that what he needs? He just needs some kind of external affirmation of his power. Um, Maybe, right? Or I guess he just needs like results, right? Like if he feels like he's failed to protect people he cares about before, that's probably why he doesn't go fight the dragon, of course, right? It's not only just that he's a coward in some sense, but he thinks he would lose to it. He thinks he would go, he probably thinks he would get the people in the village killed if he tried to go fight the dragon and failed, right? Um, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. And it's interesting now because he's getting all these compliments from people in the village. People are treating him like, oh, this all powerful warrior who saved the day. But he feels like that's like a hoax, that he's a fraud, even though it's unclear if he really is or not, right? Um, so he thinks those compliments are like unearned, that it's not a true affirmation of his power, right? And that's interesting. That makes you think, right? Like, let's say even if he did go defeat the dragon, let's say next episode he's gonna go fight the dragon. He's gonna succeed. Where he's I wonder if this kind of attitude that he's going to have here is going to continue anyway, that he's not going to think that it was like a legitimate showcase of his power, right? Because if Frieren is going to be the one who defeats it, if he just has to keep it busy for 30 seconds, that's not the same as him defeating the dragon, right? I feel like that wouldn't actually fix his whole feeling like a fraud issue, you know? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I can see so many ways this could go. I'm actually really interested in Stark now. Not gonna lie. I really, man, huh. Hmm, hmm, hmm. And he really doesn't want to. He really doesn't want to do it. And of course he doesn't, right? Like I can understand it because if he has to keep it busy for 30 seconds, well, what if he fails? The free run and Fern just die, right? Like I don't think it's out of concern for himself, really, right? Because he was brave enough in the first place to stand up to the dragon, right? Even though he stood there and shivered and didn't do anything. He was brave enough to do that in the first place, so he cares about protecting other people. That's what he wants to do. He just doesn't believe in himself. Sorry, right? Uh, yeah, the fact he was able to confront it at first is what matters, right? Um, and it's interesting, right? He's able to throw himself out of his comfort zone and do things that he understands that he wants to do and he wants to change himself, right? Makes you think of like Frieren, right? With her throwing herself out of her comfort zone to try and form deeper relationships with people, despite her fear of them ending one day and knowing what that means, right? Hmm. I wonder if that's part of why Frieren believes in him so much after this, right? I don't know. I don't know. And Fern immediately. So I said this in the ending. I don't know why does Fern have this reaction to seeing someone act this way, to someone not believing in themselves so much, and someone being like a coward like this, right? Um, I wonder if it's because she's been surrounded by people like Heiter and Frieren who have been so confidently able to step up in her life and like do things to help her, essentially, right? Like Heiter, brought her in as an orphan and saved her, and so I wonder if she's just disgusted by like what Stark is doing here, um, because she really does view it as him having done nothing and being just like a fraud and a coward, maybe that kind of makes sense, right? I don't know. I feel like there has to be more to it, like why she would view him in this way. I don't know. It's interesting because Freeman doesn't view him like this at all, right? She immediately can believe in him, so it does paint a clear difference between Freeman and Fern when they're both pretty similar characters in a lot of senses, right? And yeah, and it's like I really think that's what it is, right? Freeman knows he can do it, because I think she has kind of faced the same thing. The dragon for her was relationships in general, kind of like Fern, right? Like forming a close relationship with Fern again, despite everything that happened with like Himmel. Or just maybe even just facing Himmel's death. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Think carefully. I know you realize you can't keep this up, which I don't know. And that to me, it just paints it even more, just like a comparison between Fruin and Stark. Not being able to keep up his behavior the same way she knows that she can't keep up her like stance on relationships. you know, which like of course I feel like she'd already changed pretty significantly in some senses ever since Himmel's death, right? Like, I mean, it's hard to tell, right? Like, we need Fern to die before we'll be able to tell. No, I don't think we need that. But Hun, he touches the scar yet again. I think it has to be a symbol of his cowardice in some way, right? It must be. Like to him, right? Seems like a kind person. I agree. I think he does. He's trying his best. He's trying his best. But Fern, because I think that's what Fern sees, is that he did try, and he did kind of succeed too, even if he doesn't believe in himself. But Fern's immediate dismissal of him and saying that he's just cowardly is interesting. I don't know. I don't know. Huh. But yeah, think about Fern fighting the dragon yesterday, right? Like, come on. And her first battle against monsters ever, apparently. Yeah, what happened to her being so meek and cute, huh? God, she's so much taller than Frieren now. Or perhaps it legitimately is scared of Stark, right? When he's off, you know, creating a canyon through a mountain. Hmm. The only one who ran when monsters attacked his village, a coward. He's like me. Yeah, yeah. He's a good warrior then. Hmm. And like just I don't know, the like look on his face as he's doing this, it just seems so desperate, you know? Like he I don't know, does he feel like he's not strong enough yet? Then he needs to be even stronger? Um Hmm. I don't know, or is this like his comfort zone, right? Like he's fine getting stronger just by hitting this canyon over and over again, you know, fighting the rocks. But fighting the dragon, he can't do it, no matter how strong he gets. Even if, like, let's say he's strong enough at this point that he could definitely fight the dragon if he can, you know, make a giant canyon in this crazy rock cliff, right? This insane shit, you know. Um, but yet he still won't go fight the dragon, you know? I don't know. It really seems, yeah, it's just he refuses to challenge his comfort zone, essentially, right? Hmm. And that's the end of the episode, man. And I wonder if Furren's outlook on him is going to change, seeing like how much work he's putting in. But if he's not willing to challenge himself, then that's the issue, right? That's what he needs to do. So, huh? I guess in that sense, he has something he can learn from Frieren. I don't know. I don't know. And that is it. That's the end of our episode. So, man, there's a really good episode. You gotta, we're having some really good ones, huh? This has just been getting good. So I don't know. I'm down for more. But yeah, I guess that's it. Subscribe, please, if you enjoy my videos. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And I will see you in the next one.